Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about the time that my best friend and I went to San Diego. So my friend and her mom came to pick me and my mom up. So they come pick us up, we get in the car, we drive down to San Diego Oceanside area. We get to our hotel, we check in, and it's like really gorgeous. We kind of hang out in the room for a little bit, and then my friend Jessica, she wants to go swimming, so we have to go upstairs for the pool, which kind of strange, normally pools are downstairs. So we get up to the pool and I open the door and I stop because there's the ocean out front of like where the pool is, and there's a pier and there's palm trees and it's gorgeous. So we just kind of hang out there, and the night was like perfect, like picturesque. As sun sets, like there's oranges and reds, and it was just gorgeous. So we hang out and relax and just kind of, shake off all the stress that our normal lives have. So we went to bed early and got up really early the next day. And we went to San Diego Wild Animal Park. And one of the first things we did was went to the lions, because that's my mom's favorite animal. And the enclosures are set up a little bit higher so you can see the animals walk by, and they're huge, majestic creatures, and their feet were massive as they walked by. And my mom got to take pictures, and she was all really excited. So after we saw the lions, we went and we saw the tigers, and those were super cool, just walking around, all majestic. And so we saw the lions and we saw the tigers. There wasn't any bears, but oh well. And after we went there, we went to the elephants. Now, elephants are some of my favorite animals. First, my favorite animal is a rhino, and second is the elephants. And the elephants were absolutely adorable. They just kind of hung out in the water and played, and the baby elephants were actually in the tub of water and were splashing around and using their trunks to blow the water on themselves. It was super cute. And so we saw the elephants, and then we went and we saw the lemurs. And the lemurs were bouncing around like 2-year-olds on sugar. They were just going crazy, and they had the coolest bright orange eyes that they just stared at you with, and when they actually stopped. And so after we saw the lemurs, it was around lunchtime, and so we went and we had lunch, and we came back to this central area where there's this big grassy field, and I was kind of curious what was actually done in the field, and I found out it was a cheetah run, and it's kind of self-explanatory, but basically they have this stuffed animal bunny looking thing hooked up to a string, and they pull it, and the cheetah runs after it. And it was one of the coolest things I've seen, because you see the cheetah runs and on TV and stuff, but it was so fast, and you could hardly even hear its feet hit the ground. It just looked kind of flew down the track. It was so cool to watch. And after that, we went on a safari, is what they called it. And basically you get in the back of this really tall truck with benches, and you have to climb into the stepladder to get into the truck. And they pull you into this big open air where a bunch of animals are just walking around and hanging out. And these giraffes start walking up to the back of the truck. And I get super excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, are we gonna get to feed a giraffe? And the tour guide goes, yes. So he pulls out a bucket, and he has these long leaves that you get to feed the giraffe. And you don't realize how big a giraffe's head is until it's right by your shoulder. It's the size of my torso. It's this big. And it just sticks its head over, and it's like a puppy. It just kind of sits there, waits, and then it sticks its tongue out and wraps it around the leaf and pulls it in. And it was super cool to get to feed it and just have it there. And my friend, Jessica, her favorite animal was the giraffe. She was almost in tears. She was so happy. She was just excited and dancing around the back of this truck the entire time. And so we all got to take a picture together, and it was super cool. And then we were driving around, and he kept talking about all the cool animals, the gazelles and different things that were out in the field just kind of hanging out. And then there was these goats that were on these really sheer rocks. And they were just kind of bouncing around, walking it was no big deal, but it was almost straight up, so it was kind of crazy. And then as we're pulling out, the tour's about to end, there's a rhino laying in the middle of the gravel road we're supposed to go out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to a rhino, this is amazing. And then I look at the tour guide, and he's talking. I'm not really hearing what he's saying because I'm so excited about this rhino. And so it just kind of slowly gets up and walks to the side of the truck, and just kind of sits there and looks up at me, and it's right behind me. So at this point I am freaking out. I'm it's super close, I'm this close to a rhino. They're one of my favorite animals. This is awesome. And all of a sudden the tour guide pulls out another pail and goes, who wants to feed a rhino? And I was like, me, this kid, I want to feed a rhino. I would love to feed a rhino. And so what would you feed this ginormous 5,000-pound animal? Apples. He loves apples, and so you gotta reach over the side, and you just threw apples in his mouth, and gotta rub his nose, and it was so cool. It's one of those things that you wouldn't know to put on your bucket list, but I put it on my bucket list and checked it off all in the same day. It was amazing. Thank you.